Moses, what's up, brother? Yeah, listen, I don't want you to think during this video that I disagree with that at all. I think Inoue is one of the top three boxers pound for pound in the world today. Incredibly exciting, probably the most exciting boxer in the world today. But there's some reasons for that. Look, so I remember an Aussie did it. I guess it would have been in the 80s. His name was Jeff Fenech. He won 3 world titles, right? I think it was Bantam, Junior Feather, right? But let's look at that. It was Bantam's 118, Junior Feather's 122, and then what else did he win? Did he win featherweight? Yeah, he won featherweight, right? 126. So 118 to 126. How many pounds is that? Oh gosh, so is that 8 pounds? That's 8 pounds and 3 world titles. So when you're a smaller guy, you have that sort of advantage where you can win world titles like that. In fact, I remember boxing back in the 80s, all of the guys that were like under 118, 122 pounds, almost all of them came from, Asia or that region. And there were a lot of Thai boxers. Why? Because Thai boxing is their national sport, so they can just cross over into boxing, no kicks, and there it goes. So Inoue is an absolute beast. Now, let me say something that is very different about Inoue. Inoue carries power at that weight. He knocks people out. That is not something very common. Why? Because power comes from mass, right, and velocity. And that's not something that typically a guy that size has against opponents. So that's what makes Inoue probably the most exciting fighter in the world today, without a doubt. Now, that having been said, 8 pounds is not a lot of weight to win 3 world titles then, right? Like for the Jeff Fenech. For Naya, he's done, I think, Junior Bantam, and Junior Feather, right? So far, or is it, I don't know. He's won 4 though, right? 2 undisputed, which is pretty incredible in itself. But if you look at heavyweight fighters, what's cruiserweight? 175 to 200 pounds. There's 25 pound difference there. And there's no world titles in between, right? So it's a different game, so to speak. I'm not trying to minimize it in any respect. I do know one of the reasons the UFC didn't add all the weight classes that boxing did is boxing was seen as having made a mistake in doing that. And I remember Jose Suleiman was lecturing us, saying, look, you Americans, you think you know everything, but in a foreign country, you're starving, suddenly you win a couple fights, you eat, you're 2 classes above. And that is fair enough, right? That's the reality, especially for those lighter classes. Mexico, Asia, that's where they were. Anyway, read my book, A Warrior of the Light.